Hello, welcome to the Big Black Tent. I'm Naima Freedom.
I'm Natalie Arsenault.
All right, and today, okay, we have some topics to cover, but first and foremost, I want to remind everyone that we have an event.
We do.
December 6th, I was talking to someone we know, and they had a good question.
Okay.
They said, "Is this a protected space?" I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yes. What do
They
you mean?
said, "Well, I'm white, so am I allowed to attend?"
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, "Let's talk about it."
I know because when people say, is it a, first of all, I don't, okay, we'll get back to that.
Said, let's talk about it. So I have some viewpoints
Okay, let's hear
about
them.
it. Okay. So um I think and I'm just gonna speak for all black people right now in America.
We would
I
like to
think
nominate
I like to nominate
the
myself.
Black voice. You may go. You have the conch.
I feel like two things for us as a people, like
Okay.
because we have black churches and stuff, right? So
Mhm.
um I think there's something about us collectively that has had to deal with everything. And so we are who we are, whether you're there or not, honestly. Um,
Yes.
However, I do understand that in 2025, it seems to be favorable for people to respect boundaries.
That,
So, though I would say you're never not invited, I would say that you can listen, but right, you can listen, but your input is not going to be acknowledged here.
well, let me ask what, okay, so the ad and the actual like thing that's out
Yeah,
there floating around, the event material says for us, by us, and between us.
it does. It does.
So I'm always interested. It's like when there's like a all men's conference. I have zero inclination to go to an all men's conference. Like I don't I don't want to know. I could care less. Like hopefully you come back a better person. But like I don't care. I don't want to go. So I always wonder like what compels people
That's true.
to want to join into something
Mhm.
that is directed towards a targeted group of people.
That's very true. So now I represent white America. Right.
Okay, let's hear it. We got both sides of the coin. Let's
Yeah,
do
both
it. I
sides.
love it.
Okay, so I think number one, I have learned, not this particular person, but I have learned that some people put everything into their framework. So because of who they are, you could say something, and if it doesn't fit their framework, it just kind of melds into whatever pot they have going on. And so they may not hear it, like you might have to be I have to be very explicit, or remind and say,
So
no,
basically,
because
you're
it
saying they can't
says,
read the room. They can't read.
right,
They
right.
can't read the room.
They
Okay, I
can't
do
read
know
the
some. I
room.
know some people like that who can't read a room to save their
Yeah,
life, and I'd be like, "What made you think that was where you should be?" Okay,
yeah.
anyway.
They
Okay,
can't read the room.
okay,
Yes. Because historically have not had to, because they were going to be centered no matter what. So, or accommodated no matter what. Hence
yeah.
the beautiful and magical, the Bureau of Magical Negroes,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Okay, that's true. There are
So,
people because I even and not even in a black white world, just in a regular world, like people who don't know when it's time to go home from a party.
well, yeah, yeah,
I'd be like,
yeah, cannot read.
why? They done boxed up the kitchen. People that
Yeah.
some people have left with to-go items.
Yeah.
Why are you still
They're like,
present?
there's no after party. There's no after
You know,
party. Yes, yes,
that's
that.
clear indicators that
Yes.
if the night is still young for you, it needs to be young for you somewhere else. That's what
Yeah,
that.
I think that's one. Not reading a room, the filter, whatever, the entitlement, and then
Yeah.
there are voyeurs. I think there
Mhm.
are voyeurs, people who are um malicious or malignant, right? There's that, but then people who just are nosy.
That is true.
um
There's a lot of nosy people who can't mind their
Nosy,
business to
nosy.
save their life.
But normally you don't see that because I can be sitting in a black church of 3,000 people, and maybe one Sunday there's a white visitor, right?
Right.
So normally you don't see that.
Right. That's true.
Normally. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Normally you
Okay.
don't. Now our
Okay.
space is at the Unitarian Fellowship. So, even we're saying what we're saying, I recognize that it's not, usually a black space. It's not a black space. So
That's true.
I don't
That's
think
true.
it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, that
He said,
answers
well,
that.
oh, that should answer the question.
That answers that question. If that was a frequently asked question, here's your first FAQ.
Yes, yes. So
Okay, okay. That was a good question. Okay, did we get some other questions? We got more questions. We got
no, I think that's it. I just
That was the
think
one thing.
that I don't think that'll be an issue because honestly, I think the I'm going to use the word frequency. The resonance match is if there's a bunch of black folks, usually the average white person is not going to walk in your direction. That's what I've experienced. That's usually not the case unless somebody's trying to regulate. That has been my experience. It's like, what's going on? Like, there's not an interest to partake, there's an interest to inquire. Um, but usually it's self-segregation. They're not going to literally be where we are, hence Black church, right? We didn't segregate for them, So that's my experience anyway.
Okay. I don't know what my experience has been because I don't know. I don't frequent
White spaces?
no, I just don't frequent spaces that I don't know. I don't really I don't know. I don't know if I go to things that are like considered all black or predominantly. I mean, I went to all white schools and stuff like that, but that was just by case and chance and all that. But I don't know if I like can look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember there was this event. It was supposed to be like I think about like Essence Festival or something like that, right? Like Essence is a magazine geared towards black readers. I've not ever been to Essence Festival. Uh I
Me
usually
neither, but
even when I was in New Orleans and lived in New Orleans, I left when Essence. I was like, let me get
really,
about this joint.
because you just didn't want to be
Um,
around people.
I just don't want to be around a bunch of people. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I have any experiences that say I know Black church to your point, right? Church. Um, that's about it.
Really?
Church and school.
Oh man, I've got so many social experiences.
Hilarious. Yeah, because I don't do like even when I see now I will say this, I'm usually the only Black person in a space, not the other way around, right? So
Ah, okay.
because I was talking, it's funny that this should. So talking to my husband about this, we went to go get coffee, and it happened to be National Cinnamon Roll Day. So I was like, "Ooh, I want a cinnamon roll." Okay, so
Of course.
my dietary choices are often driven by what national calendar day it is. So anyway, it was National Cinnamon Roll. So I was like, "Oh, I need cinnamon roll and coffee. I know this place. Let's go." So we show up, and it's like a little walk up area where you place your order. There's not like any indoor seating. It's like outside on like a little green lawn and all this and stuff. So I we get there, I go get my cinnamon roll, get my coffee, get back in the car, and I was like, I wonder if that's how Black people felt in the 50s. Because literally, it was about 60 people out there, and there was not a shade of melanin to be found. Now, somebody might have been like, I'm from Spain or whatever, but you a white Spaniard. I don't know what to tell you. Like, there was no melanation. I mean, not a hint
No,
of
where
it.
was this?
This was Spring Branch Memorial, the Villages area.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Lots of people, about 50 or 60 people out there between all the little restaurants that were out there that you could like walk up to or go to. Lots of young children, like toddler stroller situations happening. And I got back there, I was like, I wonder if that's what it was like in the 50s. Like you just kind of are the only thing that is can tolerate the sun that's out there.
Wow.
So like I'm normally it's the other way.
Oh, for you, it's
Yeah.
usually
Yeah. Unless I'm like getting together with friends or something like that. And of course, then it's a private space. So then there's, yeah.
okay. That's interesting. Okay, well, I happen, or at least at one point in my life, I happen to love crowds. I used to go to all the festivals that you could go to. Festival, I was there.
Okay.
So it was amazing to me how, like for let's take Miller Outdoor Theater, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was amazing to me that I could go, the orchestra would be playing, right? You would see a couple, this is, I don't know, maybe 30, that choke on 30 years ago. This is like 2000, okay?
Okay.
So, or maybe 2010, but you go and then there was like sprinkles of us, but
Yeah.
majority white, okay? Certain person was playing, okay?
Yeah.
And then let's say Motown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Motown, whatever was going on.
It would be very integrated would be
You
my
wouldn't think that there was a white person in Houston, right? Because
really
only like you just see your people. It wasn't like a third, a third, a third. No, 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 no.
interesting.
Vendors, like it was if it was white folks, you didn't notice them because they were
Okay.
buried in the sea of black. But it was
Wow.
so you see the crowds completely turn over.
That's interesting. I would have thought that like Motown would have brought a different balance and mix.
Nope.
But
Not when
okay.
it's majority us. Nope.
Okay.
It's majority, especially same thing with Pan African Festival, right?
Now that I
So
get. I get, I
Pan
get them
Am
not being able to do
Niger
that.
Festival, Nigeria, like
Yeah, I get
you
them
see
not being able to
sprinkles
do
of
that.
white folks who
Yeah.
were hippie-ish or
Right.
um about that life, but generally the whole like the 90% turns over.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that was completely, it was amazing how that happens. And what I did this experiment, I used to do it in high school, used to do it at Elkins. Um, you sit at a table and let's say there's a table of white girls, for whatever reason. Okay, you sit at a table of white girls. You sit there. Then your friend starts coming to sit there. The white girls would leave the table and start their own table.
White flight. Okay.
You would see that. I would see
Also
that.
did not pay attention to that in high school.
Oh man, I'd see it even when I had kids, right? Because I was out in Klein area and I would go to the playgrounds in the middle of the day when I was a house mom at one point. Anyway, so I was out there with the white ladies and baby, when that daycare bus would pull up, them white ladies gonna pack their kids. I mean, they would
Really?
they would either migrate across the street to the other playground, like you'd
Okay.
look up and then all the white people be gone. They'd be over there or they left. And I've seen that pattern my whole life.
Wow.
They leave the area. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
They self-segregate.
well, I mean, you see that with white flight.
Yeah, yeah, you see what, but like if you're in if black people are in a group somewhere, they generally don't enter the group. They might be
Okay.
curious, but they don't stay. And unless you're in like it's a mutual person, I haven't seen a person pull that strongly with both. And I even went to Lady Blacksmith Mombasa, the South African group.
Hmm.
Um, it was more of a mix than I've ever seen, but it wasn't a lot of us out there.
But I wonder it wasn't a lot of black folks out there.
No, no.
And
It was
what
mostly,
group was this?
oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Lady Blacksmith Mombasa, they were made famous on the Paul Simon album.
Okay.
I know this because I'm Priscilla's daughter. And and we relentlessly had to listen to Simon Garfunkel and whomever.
Okay. Okay.
But but yes, so like the international pool has still more white folks than black
I could
folks.
see that. I could
You
see
know?
that. I could
Yeah.
definitely see that. Yeah. Okay. That is so.
Yeah. But you generally don't see a mix. You don't see a mixed crowd. That's still
Yeah.
among us.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
well,
know it'd
maybe
be
so. Yeah,
unknown.
maybe among us. Yeah, because I would think there's probably not a lot of folks that show up at Essence Festival. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of, you know, unmelanated folks who show up at like. But see, that's what's so crazy about it because then, like, you go to like Zydeco's and stuff like that in Louisiana. Well, that's not true because some of the articles depend on who playing.
Okay.
But like jazz and blues clubs, like you go to blues clubs and stuff like that. And I remember going to one blues club one time with my brother.
Maybe the blues.
And yeah, this was like late 90s, early 2000. It was off of Kirby
Mm,
and it was a blues club. And I was like, okay. And it was interesting to see the makeup there because it was predominantly unmelanated
yep.
with a few smatterings. But I was like, it's blues. So I feel like
That's not our
we should
blues.
have been here. But okay, we wasn't in the house. We was not in the
No.
house.
I'll tell you what we are, because I used to do the same thing with jazz scene.
Okay.
And white people had their own jazz off Montrose C, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Area. But black people were off OST, right? We were doing,
Ooh, it's a location situation. Okay.
right? We were don't now maybe in places like New York or something,
Yeah,
maybe, right?
maybe.
But here there's a white version of jazz that is played. There's a
Okay.
now you'll still have some people playing jazz who might be black drummers or whatever within the group,
Right. Okay.
right?
But the
But the
people in the
scene,
audience.
yes,
Okay.
but the scene is different. Like what was that? It just closed down again. Red Cat Jazz Cafe.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember.
that was
I went
black
there once.
folks.
I went there once. Okay.
Yeah, that was it was black owned.
It was
It
black
was this
owned. It
head
was,
wrap is not working.
yeah,
But
I see,
yes,
but it's okay. You'll figure it out. Or you'll just leave it be. And you'll just have a little.
I'm just look like Laura Ingalls.
There you go. Then look, it's great. Look at that. You done made a new style. It's great. It's great.
But yeah, the
Okay.
scene is usually different. It's usually a segregated scene, but it's not because we're segregating it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know we definitely are not. I don't feel like we
Oh, we take your money.
I feel like we are always trying to be in something. So like we definitely are not the segregated type. We segregated because of
Yeah.
not
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. Yeah. So that's interesting. So yeah. So for the purpose of our event, this event, no, I don't think it's going to be a problem because historically, that's not how that goes down.
okay.
Yeah. It's just yeah.
It'll be interesting to see.
It will be. We'll document, but
We will document it. That's for sure.
it'll
That's for
be
sure. Okay, so we have this event. What's the date again? Tell the people.
December the 6th, Saturday from 11 to 1.
Yes. And
Yes.
it's nearby. It's kind of central. It's off of Wirt Road, right?
Worked literally at the corner of I-10 and Work
I
Road.
mean, that's as easy as it gets,
Yeah.
people. As you ain't got to go down no back streets or nothing. You just right there, right off the freeway. It's great. Okay, and so what are we like? What are some of the things that you think you might want to be? I know we're still like
Chatting about
percolating.
chatting about well, you
Yeah.
know what? I think we've been a bit prophetic with this because X amount of black women, 300,000 plus, have been let go, right? Let go, fired.
Let go.
Um,
Released.
have been released from their government positions. So if that's not a collapse, we don't know what is. And as of Friday, I heard the special needs Department of Education unit, they're calling it being gutted, which is usually not like because I'm thinking about you. It would be
Is
okay.
that a bad thing?
Well, no, because small government, like you want the states to have the power over that anyway.
Yes.
But if your state is corrupt as the government,
Well, I mean, that's every government. It doesn't matter whether it's small or big, right? I mean, like it to me, it's harder as you can see right now in these circumstances,
Mhm.
depending on what you believe should be done in a government, it is much harder to steer the ship of a government that is further away from you.
Yes.
The further it gets from you, the more difficult it becomes for your voice and your needs to be assessed appropriately and heard appropriately. So, you know, uh, even Austin is far,
Oh,
right? I mean, it's corrupt and it's far. Houston is also big and ginormous. I mean, you think about we got more people than lots of European countries in Houston.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
So, I mean, hey,
You're like, yeah. Yeah, it would
couldn't,
be nice if it was like it was during the wards, right? You voted with your ward, right, before at large took over. That would be that would be great, that decentralized notion of power.
yeah,
Um, Hope says maybe post collapse is that we go back to our ward system where you vote where you are and make
yeah,
major of money where you are. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, people would say for the areas that are not as socioeconomically advanced or have as much, you know, free flowing cash, that would also be troublesome for them because, it's kind of like with what gets said about, um, some of the inner city schools that are in areas, again, that are poor neighborhoods, versus same inner city, just different side of, you know, a street sometimes, and it
It'd
looks
be
entirely different.
it would be interesting if without corruption, and this is just a theory in my brain because I know corruption lives within us as well.
I'm like, oh, all right.
But if people were not intentionally trying to translate, I'm not trying to say F with, but that's the only word I got. Um,
Hey, it's your show. You can drop all
right.
the bombs you want. Okay. Okay.
If the redlining and um gerrymandering, if all the intentional thing to disrupt a people
Mm-hmm.
would cease, then maybe those areas could flourish a bit more if people would mind their own business. We could contend with ourselves and deal with that. But only reason why we're not successful, right? Because we were doing our own thing, mind our own business.
Doing their own thing, minding their own
Right. We
business.
were successful then. So,
Doing just fine.
yeah. So it might hurt a little bit to the transition, but we were doing just fine.
Yes, that is true. That's
When
very
nobody was
true.
interfering.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna do just fine this go round, but
Yeah,
we
because we're so
were at
used
one
to it.
point doing just fine. That is correct. I don't know what's gonna happen I don't know what's gonna happen this go round. Like I feel like it's not the same people. The
What do
people
you mean? Who's not the same people? The black
We are
people,
not
white
the
people,
same
both.
people. We
Who?
are not
We?
the same people. We collectively,
Well,
the
yeah.
melanated are not the same people. The melanated with an all-American experience are not the same people.
His true.
Their children's children have
Not the
seemingly
same
lost
people.
their minds. So,
Okay. That's what we're gonna talk about. I mean, that's ultimately the conversation of the big black tent. It is, right? We're trying to figure out, okay, it's been 160 years.
mhm,
What worked, what stays, what goes, what's our responsibility, where do we want to go? Like to actually have the conversation as Black American women, that conversation.
yeah,
And I think to prepare people's nervous system who may see it, may not see it, but to remind us of our choices, our power, our providence that we had, um, and to at least drop the seed of planning for the moments ahead.
mhm,
Um, I think ultimately that's what this talk is the seed of is we remember we were good without the dependence.
we were
We were
good
we were
without it.
good. In
Mhm,
fact, we were still being siphoned from,
mhm.
right?
Oh yeah, yes,
Right?
yes,
We're still good. So getting back in that mindset before our parents' generation um goes, what that looked like, because they remember they were there.
that they were there. They
They
were
were there.
there, and maybe the beginning of the problem.
And
I mean, I love y'all of that generation, but I'm just saying.
we'll talk about that too, because there was a man who it was deep. I think he was Aiden. He was like, "Man, we really need we owe y'all an apology because there was this fantasy that we had about what this would look like, and that's not." They still didn't have all the information. It was interesting because I was correcting them on stuff like that's not what integration looked like. What do you? I was there.
Right,
Like,
right,
that's not what happened.
right.
So, so
I'm
yeah.
just always floored by how what I was talking about this with somebody too, that um without any supporting data, no supporting data at all,
Mhm.
how people come to the conclusions they come to. I'm just like, there was nothing to indicate this was going to be positive on the backside.
Propaganda. I don't.
Nothing. There was
I think
not a
propaganda.
goddamn point.
Propaganda, the same stuff that we see going on, a bunch of misinformation, a bunch of propaganda, a bunch of lies, a bunch of coercion, a bunch of cattle calling, people just being sheep led to the slaughter. I think the same stuff that's happening now, the same playbook. We talked about playbook last
Yeah,
time.
the playbooks don't be changing, child. The playbooks be strong. Um,
Same
yeah,
playbook.
I don't, I'm like, I don't, and look, I only have history to look back on, so I don't know what it was to be in the lived experience. But
Right.
from what history has shown, based on what was going on
Mhm.
pre-segregation, during kind of the attempt to integrate and the continuous attempts to integrate, and then finally, like, I don't, there was no data to support that it was going to be a positive thing, that the outcome was going to be great. I'm
Right.
absolutely certain that everything that has been achieved right now could have been achieved without it.
And I think I heard, if I can call memory right, I think I heard someone in my life say integration was never the point, but there were policies and campaigns and some HNICs that had gotten some power, some money. They were
I
pushing
believe
agendas
that.
along, right? And then people just started, going that direction. Then you started, um, offering crumbs that looked fabulous, right? Doors started opening, like, instead of doing laundry or whatever, the masses got to go scholarships and go to school, and even if it wasn't Babylon, right? So, right? So, I mean, this is what I do want to say. There were some benefits to it. There were some benefits. There were some serious consequences and things we suffered from. There were some benefits that may have not outweighed the consequences.
That's
Um,
what makes it a benefit. Like you have to weigh it. Other than that, it's just a thing. It's just a bullet point.
okay, there's some bullet points
Just a
that
bullet point.
some highlighted bullet points.
When it gets put on the weighted scale, if it has no weight, it is kind of irrelevant.
Okay, well, some bigger bullet points, the 18 point bullet point versus the 12 point bullet point.
Right?
There were some, rises in the
Child.
I say that because I think one of the things that we got, one of the things that we got, and I'm speaking to myself and my children, there's a lot that we lost, but I don't know what it's like to drink from a white black water fountain. Like that
Is that
fear.
really a benefit?
No, 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 no. Well, okay. Okay, we'll break it down. I hear you. Okay,
No, like,
well,
is that like first of all, let's be clear. I don't drink from no water fountain because it's nasty and it's germy. So
well,
I'm
what?
not drinking from the water fountain anyway. But secondly,
Yeah.
does it matter?
Well, this is what I'm saying. The mindset that because maybe Mississippi they still have
This
this.
I'm gonna tell you what this is. I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you exact, and this is the playbook, and this why I'm like, there's no data point in history that was gonna tell you this was gonna turn out okay. This is what it is.
Okay.
So you just gave a very good example about drinking from, the black water fountain versus the white water fountain that you couldn't drink from without penalty. This is Adam and Eve all over again. This is Satan in the garden with some unknown tree over there
Uh,
telling you that
mm,
if you just get to that tree over there, you'll
mm.
be just like him. He don't want you to have it though. That's why I'm just trying to bring you this knowledge. But if you get that tree, you'll be just like him. And he don't want you to be like him. So that's why he told you not to go over there. Because so then you just like, oh, I gotta get to the tree. I gotta get to the tree. I'll be just like him. If I just get to this tree, it's gonna be so great. I'm gonna be like him. It's gonna be great. You already like him. He breathed life into you, according to the story. He formed you. He put you in a place, gave you all the things you needed, came and talked to you every night, hanging out, participating. And then you let this person get in your head over one tree that, I mean, you got all this other stuff, but the one tree, because you might be like them if you just get to the tree. That's the playbook. It's a perpetual playbook. That's what happened. They were like, but I want the white water fountain. It's coming from the same goddamn water treatment facility. It's all coming from Lake Conroe. It don't matter. Everybody dying. They put fluoride in their stuff, fluoride in our stuff. It don't matter. Everybody dying. So just because they put the moniker on it to separate the two, now I just want that one. And that's like the little part. I forgot somebody who was at one of the lunch counters or something like that for the sit-ins and stuff. When they finally got to the food, they were like, this food is nasty. That's correct. You got coffee poured on your head and spit on for some unsalted raisin in the potato salad food. That's what you did. Because somebody told you you couldn't have it. That's like that little place. So you know they got an all-white community now in Arkansas. They
Could
have this
happen.
all-white city, town, whatever you want to call it, in Arkansas. And people are coming for them. People are like, they did a little 60-minute story about how can you have it be all white, or you're not gonna let your other people in who are not white, whatever. And of course they're like, no, it's whatever, whatever. And I'm like, if you don't leave them people be, let, let them people be. If they think that they are going to have a tremendously great experience being sequestered amongst their unmelanated brethren, let them. Let them. I don't care. Let them. Have at it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come from this angle. So I agree. No, because I agree. I agree. I think this is the part I agree with. I agree with the fact that when I think about Martin Luther King and how young he was, because he was young,
He was.
right? He was, now I'm at the age I can say this man is young. He was young and he was completely nurtured in the segregated South amongst his community,
Hmm.
right? So he had no idea what it was like to integrate. He was coming from complete ignorance,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
He had no idea the depth of evil and moralist um depths that this experience could open up. Okay. Now, what I'm saying about this is there was a group of us who internalized this whole experience. And when I say white water fountain, black water fountain, meaning they literally believed that there was something wrong with them. Like there was something happening within them in which they would submit to it. Like my
Hmm.
thing is the part of them that went and allowed themselves, because nobody wants to be murdered like Emmett Till, the
Correct.
experience,
Hmm.
right? Like when and I'm probably gonna get really in trouble with this, but I stopped reading Ruby Bridges in elementary. It's part of the curriculum in school everywhere, Ruby Bridges, and I can't stand it.
Hmm.
And I can't. There's no way I would send Gracie through that mess, that madness. I think that is child abuse in the least. So so the part of us that didn't believe who we were because they weren't Martin Luther King. Maybe they did not have what Martin had. Maybe they were on the opposite end, like Mississippi, right? Who were really suffering under the thumb and the abuse of their captors, right? And because you have a lot of black folk, leave it to my mama. Oh my God. God bless you, Priscilla. But leave it to my mama to tell you about the part of our community that were so subjugated and abused during
Hmm.
the system that they were too close to animals themselves.
Hmm.
And they couldn't, like, I just learned recently at the Black Forager, shout out to this woman on social media. I love her. And she talks about the laws around foraging and how there were laws against us foraging. Like they created that law to strip us of the ability to get food for ourselves when they said that we couldn't have our 40 acres of meal. Anyway, it was crazy, right?
Hmm.
So for those who did not have for whatever reason and could not get there, they were literally under the thumb of sharecropping and
Hmm.
was so for them, integration was a key. It was a
Yeah.
key for them, right? It shouldn't have been a key to stay, and we shouldn't have had to um get rid of our own, as a process to that. But I realized the complexities of it because most of us black women are educated now, in a way that a lot of states probably wouldn't have done it had they kept their thumb or been allowed to arm themselves and kill and kill. Not to say that we didn't have the right or the ability to defend ourselves, but from what I hear, and I'm going to speak about a certain mentor I had about Mississippi, what white folks were allowed to do, um, and I don't know if this was everywhere, is hella slavery egregious, even in the 50s and
Hmm.
60s. So there were laws in place and revolts in place that at least held them somewhat accountable. You still had to move and leave. I mean, they still bombed your house, you know. So I'm not saying that things were perfect, but for some of us who were completely under their guns, right? Who were completely what is Trump doing now? Um, occupying, right? Starting to
Hmm.
occupy cities. That's been a Black America, right? Period. Occupied. So for some who were heavily occupied, that gave them a little breathing room, you know, and some access. So
You
I
know,
can,
don't get me wrong. Look, I can certainly understand that it was a means to an end and a tactic. Certainly get that. Um, I just don't know how you thought it was going to end well,
oh, yes. Okay,
right? Like
yes, yes,
that's
yes,
my only thing. Like it was
yes.
people who thought that this was the promised land.
Okay, well,
And
yeah,
so
okay.
like it's one thing for you to be like this next step in life and a lot in careers, people in their profession and things like that. Sometimes you make a lateral move to make a top move. Sometimes you go back to go
Yep.
up, right? There's lots of tactics to get where you need to go. So I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's not a viable tactic. All I'm saying is that people were talking about like it was the promised land.
Oh,
And to
okay.
me, that was the problem with the tactic. They didn't understand that this was not going to create a positive outcome. You need to be thinking about what you're doing after you get this. Like this is one step.
Yeah.
This is one step.
Yeah.
Then we know it's still gonna be horrible. It's gonna be horrible in a different way, but it's gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
So what's the roadmap? Because that can't be the journey. Like that can't be the thing that if we just get this integration, we have
You want to know if that was a
seen
conversation?
the mountaintop. Like it can't be it because you are still in the valley. I don't know what mountaintop you seeing except from the bottom. So,
No,
so
no,
that's
no.
my thing, right? Like I get it's a tactic. There are lots of them out there to be used. It was one that I'm not saying was a bad one to even use.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for people to think that it was going to end well, And for you to
Oh,
think that you'd achieved the monumental success
oh yeah, 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 yeah. That, yeah, no, no, no.
that I'm like, and that's ultimately what happened because then once they got that integration, they were like, cool, we in here now.
I got comfortable. Yeah, I got yeah. You get comfortable in the tomb. So okay, and this is fabulous. And I don't know if I said this last time, but this has come up. This has come up for me, and I'm at a certain space, and I was having a hard time, and I was like, oh God, this sucks. And what I heard was, you're not supposed to be successful in the tomb. These are tomb metrics. This is what happens in the tomb. You're not supposed to redecorate the tomb,
That's correct.
right?
I
Goal
love
is
it.
to leave the tomb,
That's
right?
correct.
And even if it goes well for a little bit, even if there's comedy, even if there's a raise, even if there's some people you like, it's still the tomb,
Still the tomb.
right? You get enough to sustain yourself, like Daniel and Lion's Den. There was still a
Right.
lion right
Still the
there.
lion. Still the lion.
It's still the lion. And that's what I feel like these past 40, 50 years, we've been successful in the tomb in order to build our own thing.
Hmm.
But like, what is that part in the Wiz? You get in that poppy field, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Right? You get
Yes.
that poppy field.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And it starts to get good to you. Like, what were we supposed to
You're
be
like,
doing?
what was I supposed to be doing now? Wait a minute, because I got a house and I'm pushing this Range Rover and I got this job as
Yeah.
this exec and what am I
Yeah.
supposed to be doing? Oh, that's right, we're going to dinner tonight. Okay, great. Like,
Like, I feel like they've been prophesying to us the whole time. Like,
yep.
this is literally what it is. We are now exiting the poppy field. We like, what has been happening on my
Hmm.
whole life?
Hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Oh, that's what we're exiting the poppy fields. That's what's happening. Right?
Oh my God.
It was good. We were look, some people still partying.
Oh,
Right?
some
This
people, a lot of people in there still partying. There's a lot of people in there still partying. Still
I mean, still partying. So
hard
it has been the whiz, ma'am. It has been the whiz the whole time.
the whole
And then
time.
the end message, she was like, it was inside you the whole time. Like, you didn't
Hmm.
have to leave. You didn't have to integrate.
Basically.
You had it. Yeah. That's where we are. So isn't that scripture? If my people, I don't know the rest of it. The other ways, return to their land. So get rid of your wicked. I think it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? If we
Okay.
hold on to the truth of who what God is, who we are, then we'll get there. But in the poppy fields, man, it's hard to remember when I'm eating that steak. Right? Like the
Right?
Matrix, right? I know this
That's
ain't what I
like the
want to
Matrix.
do.
Exactly. Exactly. And it was like, now I know the steak don't really exist. And I know, and I'm like, dude, that see this the kind you ain't got no data points to support this stupid decision you done made. But here we go.
All we know is it feels like relief. It feels good. And it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure,
It
right?
is.
And it takes a lot to keep, I don't know anybody else, it takes a lot to keep your sanity inside the tomb
Oh,
because the tomb
definitely.
is created to put pressure on that
Oh,
clarity.
definitely.
And it rewards insane. It
Yep.
right?
It does.
It rewards insane.
It
And for the clear
does.
thinking, you really feel that pressure.
Hmm.
So here we are.
Here
And
we
this
go.
in lies the conversation on December 6th.
All right. Come on with your opinions, people. Let's hear them. Want to hear it? Here you go.
Right. What are we gonna do? We exiting the poppy fields. Like what we doing? Do you know that we were in the poppy fields? You know?
First, that's the first question. Do you know? Do you know? Like when you wake up in the hospital from a coma, they be like, "Do you know where you are? Do
Right, right. Do you know who you are? Do you know? Do
you
you
know
know?
what today's date is? Do you know your name?"
I'll give you my government name. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Like, that's what we are. We got government
Know
names,
your
we have
name.
social security numbers, you have prison numbers, you have,
Lots of numbers. There's lots of
All
numbers.
these identities that have been given to you to serve the system.
Yep.
So I think the greatest part about this part, and I might have said this before, is the release and relief that I don't know about anybody else, but based on my grandmother's experience, that we have been prepared for this in a sense that my nervous system isn't surprised. I've seen enough
Mm-hmm.
of the films, I've heard enough of the stories. Um, Now, am I going to be disturbed if my conveniences are taken away? Yes, of course.
I will be. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is why I've already had the conversation. Well, first of all, I have a fighter spirit and just a general lack of respect for most authoritarian situations. I just don't. And the Lord decided to drop me here. So he knows he need to take me before all the like he is fully aware that he is going before my convenience because if you wanted me to execute on the spirit that you gave me, then you should have put me somewhere else.
I have to have the look, and I'm jumping on the boat with you with that. Like, okay, I want what Natalie has.
He
Can
can Enoch me. Because I'm not talking about no violent death in the hell of bullets. I'm not starving to death. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not
we?
dying from cancer. We're not doing none of that. I'm talking about being Enoch. I'm talking about she was here and then she was gone. She just vapor. Just you know, they
Ma'am,
thought the rapture was happening last
yeah, you
Tuesday.
missed it, ma'am. You missed it. They already got Enoch, whoever that person was. Can somebody tell me who got Enoch? Because it was the rapture, and apparently nobody I know made it.
Nobody got raptured. I'm like, first of all, if I was God, I would leave y'all here too. The rapture might have happened on Tuesday, but y'all acting a fool. So I'm leaving everybody here. Okay?
That
Everybody.
wasn't really a rapture. We like, no, not ready. Everybody
He
disappointed.
he said, you ain't coming up here acting a fool. Y'all in the woods waiting. You're not coming up here acting a fool. Get your life together. I'm gonna come back. I was just checking. I was checking. I'm coming back.
Oh my God. I didn't even know that was a thing until the last hour. And I was like, we can rap. We can, nobody told me we can. I started looking at the people who said they getting raptured. I said, oh, I ain't going nowhere. I didn't see black people talking about this. I was like, oh, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going no
Oh
damn
my
where.
God, that's hilarious.
Look, if Black America don't know somebody getting raptured, you ain't going nowhere.
Ain't nobody going nowhere.
Anybody going nowhere. Black people go to church 7 days a week. Yeah, I ain't going
That's
nowhere.
correct. Ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Although Trump has decided he also is not going anywhere because he's decided he knows he can't get into heaven.
What do you mean? What did he say? What did
He's been
he say?
talking about it a lot lately about how he doesn't think he's going to make it into heaven. I
Oh
was
well,
like, that explains, it does explain a lot.
I'm glad he's made peace with that. So when is he going to collapse? When is this happening? I need because I've determined this is heaven, so that means you going somewhere. We can't occupy the same
The same
space.
space. The same space.
I've determined this is heaven, so you
Oh
got to
my
go.
God. I
That's
hope
what I
this
determined.
can't possibly. This is not heaven. I'm not riding with you on that one. You on your own on that one.
I've
Let me
determined this.
tell you, because if that's the case, I already told you, if I get up there and people start talking about you need to go back down, I'm be like, no, I'm staying right here in this void. I'm not walking towards you. I'm not giving you no consent. I'm not doing none of that.
I ain't
I'm
going.
not going back down there. I'm not.
I ain't going nowhere.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm standing 10 toes down right here in this black void. You shine all the light you want to. If that light take me back down there, I'm staying right here in this dark. Thank you.
He's
I'm not
like,
going.
mm-mm.
Hmm. That's correct. That's correct.
I'm convinced they gotta go. They gotta leave. They the ones who's not from here. You gotta go. I'm not going nowhere. You gotta go. You gotta go. Ain't nowhere else to
I
be.
mean,
Leave
the
us
ones
alone.
that's from here, you keep them too. I'm tired of all of y'all. All of
Everybody.
y'all, y'all. Tired of it.
Everybody. I have to tell you, this is not for the faint of heart. And I don't know. Now I'm gonna speak for humanity.
Oh,
I'm
oh Lord. Good
now I'm
luck.
going. I'm a represent. You know, I mean, this existence is not for the faint of heart. And maybe I'm not supposed to be saying this, saying the quiet part out loud, but if this is it, we in a lot of trouble.
So bad.
Like
If this is it, that's what I'm saying. This can't be it. This can't. This cannot
this cannot be it,
be
or
it.
I can just go, I don't know. Now, I mean, I'm just saying, if this is it, then what is the point?
This.
What is the point? If I don't have any more power than this, then what is the point? But I'm convinced I do, and I'm convinced that all this is happening now because I'm seeing too many changes. I'm seeing too much shifting. So,
What shifting? Enlighten
okay,
us, all of
okay.
us. Enlighten us.
What? That?
Help. I have a panel over here. Oh, this is my little scene. He was on
Oh
scene, the little
my
kid.
gosh, I could see you as that character.
My little stress ball. Like it
Oh
never
my
is.
goodness. Yes. So I have come to remember, realize, and we see this that okay, I'm gonna tell you this example. I shared this today
Okay.
with Kim. I shared
I'm here for it.
and and please help me if I've said this before. So I was watching the Hebrew Israelites, the purple garment
Oh, I know
brothers.
who they are.
Okay, okay. So I was watching. This
I'm gonna
was
try.
one.
I'm gonna try to hide my facial expressions, but keep going.
This
Yes.
is one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and I'm going to explain. But I watched it maybe 20 times. Okay.
See.
It was this lily white woman. You might even call her
Oh
Karen.
God, it's
She was
so.
like maybe her 70s, okay? Maybe mid 70s. And when I saw the clip, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be good."
See, you watching for entertainment.
I am. I have to admit, sheer entertainment. And this brother, I didn't know that they start sewing. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about y'all, and they're gonna come for me and rip me apart. But they start sewing these
The
I'm
fringes.
call 'em outfits, like with the shoulders, like in the purple. Okay, so they got these garments sewed up, okay, with the studs on them. Anyway, so something told this woman, because if I walk by you, I'm not saying nothing. I'm gonna keep walking, all right, because I know you're gonna talk about me. Um, I'm gonna keep walking. I already know what's going down with the Hebrew Israelites, and I see them
They
downtown.
be all over the
Houston.
place. I've seen them in the Galleria area.
I saw them. A white brother step to them. I was like, I don't got time, but I do want to be entertained. But that's gonna be good. Like I was like, you should have just kept walking. But anyway, okay. What this is the part they show in the clip. She's like, that is not. That is not what Jesus talks about. You're not talking about the love of God.
Oh my Lord, that woman should have kept walking. She
Okay, I'm gonna
she
curse
gonna be
everybody.
on
Watch it. Turn it down for your
propaganda
kid.
video watch forever for them. Keep going.
And he looks at her and his garment, his studs, the purple do rag, like he looks at all his holy, and he says without flinching. I mean, with all the conviction and gusto from the chest, and she looks distraught, like her world she
It's
thinks is
crumbling.
distraught. But here he comes. He was about to just pop her psyche all the way out. Okay, you ready, people? Okay, I'm about to cuss. He said, "Shut up, cave bitch."
God, negative, negative. See, this is why I be talking. That's why I was I'm trying to control my facial expressions. The moment you brought them up, that's why I was I'm trying to control my facial expressions because they ain't part of no tribe of mine. With the
I
link.
don't want it. Like I watch it. I watch it. And I'm like, first of all, I never thought of putting those two words together. Right? So I was like, that's kind of poetic. Then I'm watching her expression. Then I'm watching him. He might have been his 30s. And I was like, this is amazing for so many reasons. And I was thinking about Emmett Till, right? I was thinking a couple generations ago, death would have descended upon him, right? I
It
mean, he
still
just,
might.
nah, because them bulls be out there the next Saturday.
They do be out there the next Saturday, but you never know. Let's be clear.
Right? He was so confident and she was so distraught. And I was like, wow, okay, this is progress. This is progress.
It's not really
Right?
progress. It's not really progress
It's free speech progress.
It's not really. It's not
Okay.
really. It's not really. It's not really when. It's not really when you are a plant. It's not really.
Oh, you think they're plants?
Absolutely. 10
Oh,
quadrillion percent.
really?
From one Hebrew tribe of Benjamin to
Okay. So what makes you say that they're
anybody else
plants?
in the masses.
Okay, why do you okay, you think so that when
That's
you
such
say
a long, that's a 17-hour podcast
okay.
right there.
So you're saying, let me be clear, you're
It's
saying
a
you think
17-hour podcast.
they're funded by other sources. Is that basically what you're saying? Okay.
I'm saying their funded, their talking points, their
Oh.
approach,
Oh, that they are
they are
created.
created. They
Oh.
are as created as Sexy Red.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't be having so much fun with it. Oh, okay. Can I tell you another reason why I thought it was
You're like, that's probably why I'm so funny. Just consider them reality TV, just like Love and Hip Hop is scripted.
Yes.
Some people be watching that and that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta think that stuff is real. Real
Mhm.
Housewives is real. Okay, y'all keep thinking that. Tune in
Wow.
for the show.
You think they're reality TV? Well, then that would make me feel better about being entertained because I
Yeah,
do
I
see
mean
them.
that's pretty much how you should watch it as entertainment. You should watch it like you watch the people who be running pranks on people
Uh-huh.
in the in the grocery like in the mall in the store and they walk up and they touch them or they whatever. Yeah, I'm like one day you gonna get knocked out.
Oh,
But okay, yeah, you should watch them like that.
well, okay, 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 okay.
It's
I got
serving its
something.
purpose for entertainment. If you were entertained, I feel like this is where we insert the clip from Gladiators where the king is like, "Are you not entertained?" I feel like that's how we should.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you see, okay, is a funded entity basically, interesting. I never thought of that as far as I've thought about that with many other churches of ours, but I haven't thought
A
about
lot of
that.
them too.
Because how would that serve them? It seems like that wouldn't serve
There's
them.
always so in prop with the ministries of propaganda and in the world of propaganda, you have to have something for everybody. Or else it's going to be ineffective propaganda. It's going to be ineffective misinformation, disinformation, and misdirection.
Interesting. Okay. So do you think that they know that they
Yeah.
are doing
Well,
that?
I don't think the little random regular people who just got their fringes sewed on yesterday. No.
They coming for you, Natalie.
Yeah.
So, okay. Look, I'm not really get myself. So you think they're as funded as Charlie Kirk?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And Sexy Red. Don't leave her out the equation.
I don't really know Sexy Red. I'm gonna have to.
Why is this is like the second time I have mentioned Sexy Red on a completely different podcast, and you still don't know who this chick is.
My brain is not. Let me
You
Google her.
should know because your cheering probably know. And when I mean your cheering, I mean your cheering that is in school.
My brain is like spitting that name out. Like I can't keep it in there. Let's see. I think this is gonna get to me. I know it's gonna make me vomit.
I don't know what your algorithm is on Google, but I don't think you want to mess it up by searching for Sexy Red.
Okay. You know what? You know what
She was
makes me sad? I know some girls like this, and I thought they were original ideas. I thought they were,
no, she's not an original idea.
but they're just
The platform that was given to her is not an original idea platform. Now, I'm not saying she may have been hood in her regular life before this, but
27. Oh, she's a baby. Okay.
Extra proud that she has had chlamydia and is happy to have chlamydia again.
Oh, that's the one you're
That's
talking
the one.
about. I've never looked her up. I've heard of Ice Spice and SZA
Them two.
and Megan the Stallion.
Oh, like this, it's really, it's diabolical at this point. But yes.
And I never hear them speak. Like, well, yeah, I'm not even looking for them to speak, but oh man. Oh, which brings us up to this. Got time. This brings us up to this. I recently, and excuse me if I didn't hear this one of our previous podcasts. So years ago, I took the anthropology of HIV course at U of H.
Okay.
And at that time, right, I knew all the stats for HIV and all this stuff. And I knew at one point during that time, our demographic were the fastest growing demographic for um,
Yep.
HIV/AIDS. Okay. So I remember when I was researching and based on that class, I never forget um, falling out or maybe falling into reality with TD Jakes. So there was a time that I followed all of the upcoming mega ministers, Joyce Meyer, TD Jakes, Carlton, Pierce, like the whole gamut of what was going on back in the day. And I never forget that they asked, what's his name? TD Jakes was doing Woman Thou Art Loosed at the time, like doing
Okay.
those
That's a
big
while ago. Okay. Yep.
stadiums. Girl, yeah. And reading the book, the devotionals, all the stuff. I was in college at the time, or newly in college. And I remember them asking him, they did a special, and I had that tape for years, asking him about the AIDS epidemic with Black women in America and asking his opinion on it. And they were saying at the time he had the largest audience of access of Black American women. And they were asking him, did he plan to address this? Why hasn't he addressed this with his audience? Now, mind you, right, he's doing his own business plan, say what he wants to do, or do what he wants to do. And I never forget he said, because the Bible doesn't address it. The Bible
Well,
doesn't talk
that's a very narrow view, but okay.
about it.
The
And
Bible
remember
also don't
that.
address what bedtime you should have, but what that got to do with anything?
I remember that. And he questioned him several different ways. And I was so like in awe of whatever was going on at the time. And in my young mind bubble, like, hmm? And he was like, well, Jesus healed people diseases. And, he talked, and he was making that reference. And he was like, yeah, so the Bible doesn't directly address. And I remember how that hit me. Like, so fast forward into this weekend, raising kids, doing my own thing. I've learned that Houston is the number one
Yes, it is.
nationally
Yes, it
hotspot
is.
for HIV/AIDS.
And chlamydia and syphilis, apparently. One of them, chlamydia or syphilis, or maybe both. I don't know, but yeah.
I had no idea. And I was like, all these years later, this is still a problem? So we got the childbirth rate, we got this. I know we got everything, but now your kids, it was us, but now us had kids.
Mm-hmm. As to have kids.
So now your kids,
And the problem is they think it's cool though. That's what I'm saying. Like Sexy Red was talking about chlamydia, and then you got people who got t-shirts about chlamydia on the thing. I'm like, why is that? Like, look, I'm not saying don't check on yourself. You, sir, if you out there passing stuff around, your goodies are open for people for public consumption. You certainly should check on your sexual health. I'm just saying that should be between you and your doctor. I'm unclear as to why you think it is a badge of honor to have had chlamydia and took enough antibiotics for it not to be a situation right now.
I think, honestly, I would love to have that conversation
I don't.
with one
I'd
of
rather
those young
talk to a
ladies.
Klansman.
You'd rather,
I would rather talk to the straight up head dragging, whatever they call themselves, Klansman.
Okay, say more, say more.
I don't want no parts of that ignorance. That's a whole different, that's a whole different level of ignorance.
Do you think it's misinformation? Do you think, do you think they really can, like, I just, it's not shock value? You don't think it's, somebody could really not
But
care, wear that as a badge when your coochie's literally on fire and being eaten?
you're correct.
I mean, that is like, look, I'm associating with this because I've had the yeast infections. So I can't imagine something stronger than a bad yeast infection. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine something eating me up in that oven. I mean, that is the most miserable freaking.
Because I'm just like, every time you pee is a problem. Every time you take a bath is a problem. Every time, like, I would think you would. And my purse has been well protected. So I've not had as much as a yeast infection. I haven't had an STI ever my whole life. For many reasons. Like, I don't get in public pools. I don't do a lot of things. We don't let everybody and their mama go down there and touch things. Like, we don't do things. Okay, so
That's right.
but even even if you were misinformed,
Right.
right? Even if you were misinformed, at some point when you contracted it
Mm-hmm.
and felt the repercussions of your misinformation,
Mm-hmm.
you would change your viewpoint. It's like
Unless they
touching
were
the
paid, I guess, maybe.
stoves that and that hence why we people say you're playing.
Okay.
Because it's like touching a stove. Who going back for seconds? Like, you know the stove is hot. Now,
It's not.
maybe you don't know the coffee pot is hot because it's on a different thing. So you touch the coffee pot and then you learn, oh God darn it, the coffee pot is hot too.
Right.
But you're not going back to the stove because you've learned that the stove is hot and your skin is now hanging off your finger and it's not coming back. Your fingerprints are gone from that hand.
Okay.
So from the first, maybe you were uninformed previously, and people treated it, people, I don't know what was happening in your household and who you had as a female or male or whatever to inform you, and they misinformed you or made you think it was something casual and some, but once you have contracted the thing and experienced its repercussions, the bacteria doing what the bacteria does, I would think you're not going back to that well.
That's right. Okay, I could see to your point because I'm thinking, okay, my one reference to this is Squid Games. I haven't seen season two, but I want to. I haven't made that time yet. But Squid Games.
Yes, and
Did you see Squid
yeah,
Games?
I unfortunately got drug into watching the first one because of my husband, and I was like, this looks like I don't want to see this. And he was like, no, watch it with me, and I was like, okay, we're gonna watch. And then they came out with a second one. I was like, dear God, did we not learn from the first one? What part of the first one did we not learn from? Why are y'all watching this mess again? Because then they just
Did
gonna come
you?
out with a third one.
You did not like. Oh, well, I don't think there's anything to like. I don't want to say like, but all I remember, spoiler alert, was the last episode when he saw that that man was orchestrating the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing from the inside of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm aligning this with. What you're saying is that when you said, "Hey, there's got to be something for everybody," to keep this propaganda machine
Mm-hmm.
going, or else you would say, "Oh, propaganda." You know,
Right.
you have to have a buffet for
You have to
everybody.
have a buffet. That's correct. Cafeteria.
Okay, okay, then I could, yeah, then I could, yeah, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then I could see that. You could see the theater of it.
And it
Um,
also helps as you study human behavior
okay, say
on a
more.
mass scale, right? I mean, it helps to when, it's people who believe that, like, oh, it's a cabal that, there's these master puppeteers. And I'm not saying that there aren't groups of people puppeteering things for their advantage, obviously. Every corporation just about does that. I mean, that's what they want. They want you to come buy their things, they market things, they do all the things. Um, but like, human psychology, we're pretty simple. I know we all think we're very complex. I just had this conversation the other day. And I was like, everybody thinks they're so unique and they're so complex and all this other stuff. But human psychology, I mean, you start studying on mass scale and people put the right trigger in place, people
Mhm.
respond a very specific way that is very predictable.
That's very true. Yes.
It's how, I mean, on a lesser scale, you have the people who are called like mentalists that are like in the magician world or whatever, and you go to the little show and they're like, oh, I bet I can tell where your next vacation is going to be. And you don't think you have tells and reads and whatever, but you do. And somehow they guess it's Costa Rica. And you're like, oh my God, how did you guess Costa Rica? It's not
Right,
really
right,
because they can read
right.
your mind. Um,
Right, I'm
so,
sorry.
again, we're often very predictable.
No,
And the
you're right.
more you put certain situations in front of us, it helps. I mean, think about social media advertising and things like that. It's all based on human behavior and who they know. There's a lot of things that are telling about the people you associate with, even on the fringes,
That's
and
true.
what they do and how what they do influences you and what you comment and what you like and what you pause on and what you just took a second to let, like all of that gets factored in,
That's
and
true.
they get very, very good at telling
That's
you
true.
you really want this hot chocolate mix. And then you go buy the hot chocolate mix.
No, you are so right. And it comes down to something as simple as right. You're right. I even saw this is before I stopped shopping at Walmart. I even saw a study that Walmart has these like okay, also has cameras, but they have cameras that focus on your face specifically as you stop in front of a product.
I believe that.
And they
I wouldn't put
track,
it past them.
yeah, and they study like how you make the decision based on where you stop, which you're
Yeah,
up, down, like what level you pick.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, all the guys. But no, you are so right about the predictable nature of behavior. And I'm gonna put this in the package of Black America, like, right? Um, I used to see this when I was out in them demonstration streets way back in the day, right? U of H days. And you could see, right, how we're quite like how reactive, how responsive we are to certain topics, like what buttons they can push to get you riled up to
Hmm.
vote for this. Who they bring the minister out to quell the crowd.
Yeah,
Okay, and then they can fund your money into this. And yeah, it's like a lull. It's a cycle.
yeah.
And they can keep you lulled in cycles. But what I've learned is, and I hope that I'm saying this right, what's hard to predict, and this was what was interesting in child, my kids had me watching Flash. They had me watching Flash. They were watching it for years. And I'm like, and I finally watched them this summer. And one thing the guy said that I thought, oh yeah, this is true. They couldn't predict grief. They couldn't predict or didn't know what to do if you started to express and deal with your emotional self. Like that seemed to be, it would throw them off guard. Not the riot, like not the riot, not the, but they don't know how to metabolize that. And so the reaction is just quell it or become violent, like get them into a pattern that we understand. But I'm gonna use this as an
Or a
example,
pattern that they want.
or a pattern, thank you, or a pattern they want. But when we stop and we go into who was singing and the wall fell down? Is that Jericho? Josh? No. Yeah, is that
Uh, Jericho marched around the
Jericho?
wall.
Joshua. Okay.
Joshua marched around. The city was Jericho.
The Jericho. Okay.
Yeah, the
So
city was Jericho.
when we start to get into our patterns, and for us, these are my opinions and thoughts. For us, it has been the blues, the jazz, the rap, the style, like our artistic expressions. Yes, they have monetized that, for their benefit. but they can't predict it. They don't understand it. They don't know when it's coming, and we move like a unit when
Hmm.
it's done. Hence the Super Bowl. They still don't understand what was being said. And I'm surprised they even let that happen, but I'm like, they don't even understand it,
Hmm.
right? Like we've been here how many years and you still don't know what we're saying?
Yeah.
So I realized if we can stay in that, if we can stay in that, if we can understand how powerful that is,
Hmm.
then we literally just the walls tumble down. But
Hmm.
once, like you said, they prod us out, once they get us out, and especially fear, well, oh, they know what to do with that.
Or convenience.
Or convenience.
Again,
Yeah.
let the AC go out. I'm very predictable if this air conditioner go out in Houston. Extremely predictable. I'm not sweating it out. I'm not doing none of that. Yeah, I mean, there are just things that humans think are that they're very complex, and they're not. Their behavior is very telling, and also the behavior of your behavior, right? So like,
Confession time.
um,
Yeah. These are my confessions.
right? I mean, like um if you are willing to do certain things, right? And your behavior shows that you'll do certain things. I don't even know what those things are. I'm not trying to think of a specific thing, but like just you do certain things. When people look at you from those certain things, they can also start to predict other things that you will do
Well, yeah, yeah.
based on those things.
Yes, that's true.
And what you're open to, and what we can suggest, like the power of suggestion, and what if we suggest this, you'll do, right? A good example, most rappers come from hard times, come from a lot of them have like been street pharmacists before, right? And so you look at that makeup, and I'm not saying everybody, right? Not everybody. There are people who choose different things. They do that for a second, they get out, they go forth, they be prosperous, they good productive citizens, whatever you want to call it, right? But you look at that and you're like, okay, this person is willing to sell their neighbor
Mm,
death, and the
mm,
neighbor has kids.
mm,
You'll probably do some other things too. Let me
mm,
see what
mm.
else we can have you do,
That's true. Yes, yes,
right?
that boundary test. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And everything is always doing it. Everything is always testing,
True.
and everybody has different boundaries, but everybody failed a test here and there, and everybody like it's just a
True.
thing. So, but that's the penetrate. They're trying to find the thing that they can penetrate through in order to, and some people are much more susceptible to certain things. And so I mean, it's like in politics. Like let me tell you, if I was a politician, if I was a politician and I won office and I'm now your US senator, let me tell you about how every part of me is going to be recorded. We're going to have body recordings. Like, I'm not going into no office with nobody by myself. I'm not doing none of that. Everything's recorded. Everything I do is going to be transparent and online. I'm basically going to be
Well,
the
like an
Pi
officer.
Senate.
Now
I'm
that's
going
a
to be the
good
Pi
idea.
Senate of the US Senate. That's what I'm going to be. Because what you're not going to do is like have me at a bar and I just did something inconspicuous and innocent, but taken out of context, it look crazy. And now you over here talking about, now if you don't vote this way, I'm gonna put this out here about you. Now I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta vote this way because I don't want people to think that I'm, whatever, right?
Like
And that's what happens.
yeah, all the time. Yes. Yes, all the time. Yeah, it does. It's almost like y'all know this is coming. You know we're gonna be blackmailed, right? Like
You
that's the
know there's
name of
gonna
the
be
game.
blackmail involved. I don't know. You already know this. So yeah,
Predictable pattern. No,
predictable
no,
patterns.
no, you oh my God, the pattern. And I think this is a thing for those of us in a let's just take Black America as an example for those of us in a pattern, right? I can say this meeting on December 6th is very scary to me. Like this is actually the whole podcast, you could say. She's like, I don't understand you.
I
The
don't,
whole
but I
podcast
love
has
it.
been very scary to me. So I have done several things in 2 years to self-sabotage, but it has been very scary to me. And I know we have it coming up, and I know it's supposed to be marketing. And I'm like, there is something about whatever that plant is that I need to work through. Like it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to work through this. But I have to admit there's something that trembles about being seen, right? About really being seen, about really having my voice, right? And I really had to trace the arc. And the
Okay.
arc was something horrible. It is something horrible, but it's not so horrible that I have to keep repeating it.
Okay.
So one of my man, everybody's got a sob story, but um when I graduated high school, I had right all these hopes and dreams, like
Okay.
hopes and dreams. And my fantasy, my it didn't line up with the reality of my life. And I had some choices to make, but I couldn't escape a pattern,
Okay.
right? And I let other voices kind of drown out what was in hindsight the best option for me, right?
Hmm.
And I had some bets with some parents that didn't have the capacity to support the way they said they were going to come through, okay?
Okay.
So I kept hope, and at the end of this horrible university bag, it was just more, it was more shit. So that I knew was coming, but I couldn't accept it. Okay. So I then decided to repeat the pattern because what else do you do with Trump? Some of us repeat the pattern. So I decided to repeat the pattern.
Okay.
And when I got to the point where I said, I'm not doing this anymore, right? The tomb, right? My legs were not strong enough to deal with the blowback from my psyche, right? Somebody else would be like, whatever, right? But my psyche, I didn't have enough support and esteem to withstand it. And so violence ensued on one decision, and the other decisions, loads of humiliation, right? And I just, at that time, I internalized all of it, right?
Hmm.
So it ate away at now who I thought I was to the rest of the world and myself,
Hmm.
right? So, unbeknownst to me, I did not realize that part of me doing the work that I do, I say I've been working with the children, but I think the children have been working on me,
Okay.
right? They've been helping me. Sorry, kids. They've been they've been helping me understand human behavior. They've been helping me understand um psychological spectrums and the whole gamut of it of because I have to deal with a lot of parent-child relationships. And I think by monitoring them, by tracking them, I've been able to take apart and look at my own psyche,
Hmm.
right? And as I do the work with them, I've been doing the work with myself.
Hmm.
But what I haven't forgotten is, or at least subconsciously, um, that any transitions that I've made have not been because I had enough courage to make the transition. At least that's not what I thought. Most of the transitions out of the tombs that I've been in have been due to a level of humiliation.
Mm.
And that is what has made me exit the tomb. Not necessarily the violence, it was the level of
Okay.
humiliation in front of my children, right?
Okay.
Which was
Okay.
interesting. So there is something about saying, I'm going to do something that I'm passionate about, that I love, that is honest and truthful for me, which is like taking my whole vulnerable, like it shouldn't be like this, but that's how I see like Lion King. I'm holding up my little vulnerable self up to the world, right? It shouldn't be like that, but that's the way it feels. And right, it's and the crazy thing is I'm so opinionated. These are really hot topics. It's like that's
I
I'm really
know.
doing this, you know, but like, and then I'm like putting myself out here and I'm like, for some reason, the last memory, major one, were those moments.
Okay.
And so walking into this, I have to talk myself through it. Like, no, that's just a story. We're creating a new story. That's just a new
Okay.
story.
Okay.
And I'm not having panic attacks and stuff like I used to.
That's
It's just
good.
avoidance. It's just
Okay.
the drift. It's just that it feels so good. And then I feel myself back away because I think subconscious, since I've identified, I don't think it has so much power. But I really had to figure out why I was drifting. Why did a week pass? Why did, right? And I was like, oh, this fear, but that okay, but oh, this is humiliation. You don't want to be humiliated. You don't want to get there. And then in my fantasy, some of those people really F it up, right? Even though I'm associate with them, I don't want to deal with them. I don't know. In my fantasy, they show up or they get on social media
And that judgy.
and then like cuss me out or berate me or like for everybody to see. Like that's how the fantasy
Okay.
goes,
Okay.
right?
So, but
That
what, like, what, and I asked this because, I had a radio show for many years of people with very differing opinions. I got all kinds of phone calls and people who were like, "That's stupid, Natalie," and whatever, whatever. To "You're great, the greatest thing that ever walked, and you should be Jesus," and all the things, right? The whole spectrum. What would be so horrible if someone did get online and be like, "That Diana Freedom, she is such a fraud. She is a whack cave bee." Had to bring it back around. Had to bring it back around.
I mean, logically, that'd be great because right, that's good. That's reality TV, right?
I
That's
mean, yeah.
all material. Um, so logically, nothing. Like, who are you? But I think that's just the story.
Okay.
That's the story that I don't think I said out loud. That I'm like, yeah, okay, that was then. You're not you're not 26, 27, right? This almost 20 years ago.
Hmm.
It is 20 years ago. Damn. That was 20 years ago. That's when I basically stopped public appearances. And, that is not your reality. So let's move forward. It's just because I've literally adopted a classroom to do all the work,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, but kids are evil and mean. I feel like a kid has certainly berated you by now.
Oh, let me tell you, I was a bald-headed bee for
That's
years.
what I'm
Okay. I
saying.
was a
Like,
bald-headed
I don't
bee.
understand. They are the worst.
But you know what about kids though? I've never met a behavior.
You
I've
can't
never
punch them
met a
without getting in
child
trouble.
that didn't respond to love. I've never met a kid who didn't respond to being loved. Never,
Really?
never. I mean, they showed up as stabbers, but at the end of it, they were like crying because they didn't want to leave. Kids are, and I'm talking elementary, kids are so honest.
They
Like
are.
they are so
Which is
honest.
why if somebody call you a bald-headed bee and they are like 12 or they're like 7, I would be like, oh my God, maybe I'm really am a bald-headed bee because kids don't be lying. They just be saying whatever the heck come off the top of their mouth that they feel.
Well, they say that, well, this is context, right? They say that because in my work,
They heard somebody else say it, obviously.
they heard somebody say, and I'm asking them to do what they don't want,
Right.
right? So they lack boundaries, they lack discipline, and mostly they're just
Well, that's
traumatized.
also people as
They're just
grown-ups.
traumatized. That's true. But I
Again, that's
think,
why I'm like, children are horrible because grown-ups are horrible and grown-ups are big children. It's the same difference.
well,
It's the same art. It's the continuing art.
but adults can, I think the hurtful, and of course I'm projecting parent right here, but adults, in my experience, adults can maim you. They can kill you. Um they can do some damage. They can lie. They can take you to court.
Kids can't, you know how many people are in jail right now because a kid said they touched them and they didn't?
I mean, kids have done that to me too. But
I'm like, what? You haven't
but
said
this
anything that I can't attribute to a child.
But this is the thing. Look, this is the thing. I don't know how to explain it to the kid that did that to me was one of my favorite students.
You could be in jail right now.
I could be. But that relationship with his grandmother, like I don't, this is what I'm saying. Like when you show up genuine with children, when you show up really from a place of integrity, and you want their highest good, like when you show up and you really see the kid not for their behavior, but you see them, right? You see their soul, because that means they're hurt. They're hurting because some shitty stuff, basically. I've never met a kid who hated for hate's sake. Um, they have had some shitty stuff happen to them. And once I locked into that story and I showed them through the process of showing up and doing the work, well then they bend towards that. Everything on earth does, unless you just
But that's what I'm saying. So can't you say that about grown people too?
okay, so let me tell you my projections.
Okay.
So I would be, and look, I'm not man hating. These are just my experiences. I'm talking about the men from my life, my father. I'm talking about my ex. I'm talking
Hmm.
about the other dude I chose. I'm talking about my brother. I'm talking about my journey. This is what I had to let go and realize is that capacity is a real thing. Capacity, a real thing. And like you learned, I am a walking truth bomb. That's just how I'm created. I'm going to tell the truth.
Hmm.
And I had to learn in very painful lessons that if someone is not interested or doesn't have the capacity for that, then they're either going to collapse or they're going to disarm,
Hmm.
right?
Fight or flight.
So, right, fight or flight. So, um, no, some people don't have the capacity to live anything other than the lie they've told themselves. If they lie to themselves, they're gonna lie to you.
That's correct.
And my problem is, in hindsight, really, they were always telling the truth. I just didn't want to believe it, right?
Yeah, but
I didn't want
there's everybody has an origin story,
to.
right? So even in all of that,
Hmm.
those people, for however they, short of having chemical imbalances that need to be balanced with medication and whatever, but like everybody has an origin story, and whatever they said or did or whatever all comes from somewhere
Yes,
that,
yes,
right?
yes,
That started not from that day.
yes. Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because children still see you as mom, at least in the elementary, they still see you as mom and dad, right? So you still have that influence with the little kids. They see you as mom and dad. And at the end of the day, they do want to please you because they need a relationship with some adult, right? They're not regulated without the adult. So if you don't take advantage of that and actually be the parent or the mentor, that works. Well, the issue with adults is if you are unable to understand, either I'm the problem because I'm not paying attention to the red flags, right? And I'm not trying to fix my own red flags, um, then you can't make someone see you, right? You
Right,
can't make someone behave a certain way. We're just out here doing as we do. And so
right,
you either accept that or move on, or you continue the conflict. So I had to realize these are grown ass adults
correct.
who are being honest. And I'm frustrated because I want them to behave a different way. And that's never the
Can you hear
case.
the dogs barking?
I heard a yip that sounded like a cell phone, but I didn't know.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, keep going.
Mm-mm. So I literally had a problem going around adults because I was like, how could I not be the problem? I've got all these men in my life that I can't seem to get along with. Um, I didn't know anything else. I just knew I was a common denominator, right? Why can't I get along with these men? Right? Why can't I get along with my wife?
But
Like
see,
so for
I think that's the same thing with kids. I think it's the same thing too. The only difference though is that your time with them is a project. Your time with them is literally a project. It has a definitive start and end.
Not necessarily, because kids move throughout the year, they do all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm saying though. But there's a start and an
oh, I'm sorry.
end. At some point, that child is either going to go to the next grade or the next school or the whatever. And if they see you ever again, great. If they don't, okay, whatever, right? Whereas the people you chose, there wasn't a definitive start and end. It was supposed to be infinite.
But what does that have to do? Okay, help me understand this. What does it have to do with you're saying it could be the same as adults? I'm like, no, adults have to choose to I mean, like at some point, an asshole decides to be an asshole.
So do
And I'm not
kids. That's why they have kids
but
that are a-holes.
but I'm saying in my experience with the work that I was doing with them, did not have a kid who didn't respond to being loved, right? What I'm saying is there's a way I could reach a kid where they were open and receptive enough to know you keep swinging on me, I'm not the issue.
But that's also because they were in a situation where you were an authority figure.
Right.
That's not the same. That's different. That's not always just responding to love. That's also responding to the authority figure in the room.
Well, this is how I differ because the behavior has to be generalized, right? It has to be, it's not just me, it has to be generalized. It has to go from true shaping behavior is going from just the authority, just the reward, to actually shaping and seeing a sheer behavior change, like a
Mhm.
psychological change within this child. And you can see it over years, right? Um, but they stop arguing with you. They stop cussing. They stop like, and then you see the parents start to shape and change as well. So you start to get reports of how this child is interacting in society, right? Like you start to see not just because you said so, because most of these kids don't come with because you said so. Like that don't work.
Mhm.
That's why they were in my program.
Mhm.
So, but with adults, for those that have the capacity to love, yes. But as we know, there are some adults who you are forever the problem. I'm forever abusive. And I'm going to align myself with people who like being abused or who, this is what we do. This is how we be. You get abused, I abuse you, or like that's the cycle, right? And they
Mhm.
just kind of cycle together until somebody
Mhm.
cycles out. Like I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
Um, but that's what I'm saying is the difference. Maybe because adults have so much freedom. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I accept that some adults, that's them. And me being in that, I'm not part of that journey unless I like being whooped on or cussed out or like I can't, and I think that was the hard part. This is not my classroom. You're a grown ass adult. I can do all the things I want,
Right.
and it's not gonna change who you are or your choices that you make. It's not gonna, yeah. There's no kumbaya here. You'll just find
Okay.
somebody else who likes it like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
I don't know. I just see them as I think they're one and the same. They're just the evolution of the person. Like again, a-hole kids, you generally grow up to be a-hole humans, big grown a-holes. And they usually started out that way as a kid. Like, and again, people respond differently in different situations because I always I always think it's interesting for
keep talking. I
people
got a charge. Keep talking.
oh people who like have been or are currently in like relationships that are
Yeah.
unequally yoked, whether it's that somebody is verbally saying crazy stuff to you or whatever the case may be. It's interesting because they're not that way all the time, and they're not that way with everybody. So like the person, man or woman, who decides to hit another person who is in their household is not that way with their boss at work.
They're not the full spectrum, but it's still there. The resonance is there, I'll say.
The resonance might be there, but I'm just saying they're not that way with the person at work. They are not that way with the person at the grocery store or whatever. Like they have a switch that says it's okay to be this way with this particular person. It's not okay to be this way with that particular person.
Yes, there are variances. I will say that when you add enough heat
Oh yeah.
situation, right? People generally react how they react.
Yes.
Um, and at the same time, know you're right. Like the bigger dog know who's the bigger dog,
That is correct.
right? So there's that. Hence, I'm gonna move around because, right, i.e. bullies, right? We know who we can take, we know who's gonna put up with this.
Right.
So no, that's okay. That's a real that's, I mean, the affection of the comfort level, we mother and daughter, but ooh, it's hot. You want to say one thing? Yeah. What do you want to say? Get your moment. Get your 15 minutes. Okay.
Hi, Gracie.
Hi, my name is Hi, Grace. No, my name is Gracie. My name is Casey. Okay. And I was gonna say, no, uh, never mind. Okay. Okay, no. You got 5 more seconds. Okay, I was gonna say, why is the world a hot mess? I want to go back. Okay. Bye, Gracie.
I mean, hey,
All
look.
right. All right. So,
So the bottom line is that the moral of this story is that it'll be okay if someone has a differing opinion. It'll be okay if
look at you talking all soft.
I'm just saying it'll be okay if someone doesn't like what is said, disagrees, is disagreeable,
Calls
is
me a
all those
KB.
things because I'm going to my house and you're going to yours, so goodbye.
That's true. And I think that is the ultimate thing. These are not vested relationships where I have to go
That's
home
correct.
and plan a divorce from or pack up
That
my
is
stuff.
correct. What you gonna do at Thanksgiving or none of that? Like, what happened if so and so show up? I mean, the easy thing is you just be like, bye. But yeah, you don't have to go and make plans for future state affairs because this has a definitive start and end.
Ah, I hear what you're saying. Okay. Okay. Yes, yes. It has a definitive
It is
start.
is not designed to be infinite.
That's very true. Yes. Yes. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Look at you. All that hope oozing out of your pores. That's hope.
Hey, that's called hope that I'm going to my house and you going wherever the hell you're going. I ain't got nothing to do with where you're going. I'm going to mind my business over here. That's what I'm going to do.
That's true. And in that vein, all is well. So,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be fine. And we're going to talk about all of these facts and all these decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, that
And
keep,
how they impact you
yeah, yeah, I
and
agree.
how they impact you.
And how they impact you. Yeah, and what we don't have to
Mhm.
tolerate or plan for in the future because it is different time. There
That
is a
is
definite,
correct.
definitive in and beginning.
That is
Yes.
correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. How it can be so different.
This time around. And I think ultimately, in the same vein as I address my fear, I think a lot of Black people's fears, at least I've heard, I don't know for firsthand, is that we're going to experience this again, right? That this is, oh, we're going back. And, like I heard somebody close to me saying, Black people think they're safe and they're going to be deported. And I was like, first of all, let me just stop you right there.
I don't know where they
Um,
deporting us to. We ain't got no home. The American black don't have no home. I just said this to an Indian friend of mine. And I was like, look, if you from Canada, why you just, if you don't like it this much here, then go back to Canada. I don't have nowhere else to go. This is it. This is the hill I die on.
yeah. No,
This is
no,
it.
seriously.
This is no, there's
Seriously.
no, I don't have no, I mean, I can pay for other passports. Great. But I'm still going to be a second citizen in wherever I paid for a passport from. I'm not from there.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Where are we going? I think we're the only ones that are written into the Constitution. Um,
At this point,
is yeah, what's a Constitution?
I mean, as George Bush said, it's a damn piece of paper. That's what George Bush said.
Oh my gosh. So either way, like we said before, we can read this time. So that's an advantage.
I can read. We can read.
We can read and we know how to do all jobs. Somebody black has done the job. So we
There
can
you go.
read, we can create. We'll figure
That's
this
correct.
out.
That's
Mama know
correct.
how to get food. So okay,
Number
well,
six.
and so it is December 6th. We will see y'all there.
Hi, everyone.